Hi guys, it's He Provides Homestead with Jerry and...
Hi guys, it's Chico. We are doing another video about books. We're going to meticulously review each and every book. This ought to take like 5 hours. I'm just kidding. That's not the kind of review this is. This review, and I hope people don't stop it as soon as they hear 5 hours. This review is about picking up books that are cheap or free at yard sales, auctions, secondhand stores.
Your neighbors that threw them out.
Yes, recycle centers, places like that. Families that are moving, that want to get rid of their books. Books that you can get cheap, authors maybe you've never heard of, but books that can add value to your life or add value to the lives of those you care about, right?
Yeah.
So with that, why don't you start with those?
Okay, so these are just a couple books that mean a lot to us, and we have adamantly told our children repeatedly that they need to read these books. So every time that we can get these books for, I would say, $1 or under,
yes,
we absolutely make sure that we have them. My favorite book, The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. If you haven't read this, you need to. It's fabulous. Each one of our children have read this. We've given them a copy, whether we gave it to them or they borrowed it. They've all had it. Another one, How to Win Friends and Influence People by, I should know this, Dale Carnegie. Every time we see this, we pick it up.
We've given those to, a copy of that to, I think, all of our children. Most of them anyway.
Yeah. This will change your life. Dave Ramsey. Total Money Makeover. It is fabulous. I'm not a reader. I enjoyed this book, and we talk about this a lot with people as we talk about our finances. It's a great book. Anytime we see it, and we've had 3 or 4 on our bookshelves before, but we're down to 1 because we've given them away.
So those books, and we'll come back to that. Those books, if we can pick them up for $1 or less, we'll pick them up regardless of how many copies we got on the shelf. Mm-hmm. We truly think the world will be a better place if someone else reads these books and takes these principles in. So, let me do one. Another type of book that we pick up anytime it's $1 or under that's cheap is books about finances. Admittedly, some of them are crap. Yeah. And should just be taken straight to the recycle center and gotten rid of. But there's some good ones out there, and if you watch what you're doing, you can pick up some great finance books. And we use some of these different books with our children, with neighbors, with teens. But like Dave Ramsey's Money Answer book, I think we got it for $1. Larry Burkett, he's old school, but great finances. I mean, check it out. Great tips, and if you just get 2 or 3 tips from a book that you paid $1 for, you're in good shape. But we picked up family budget workbooks, and we've helped people that have gotten hold of us and said, "Hey, I'm drowned, and can you help me?" And we've got things like this that are really basic, and we can say, "Hey, start here." Money Before Marriage. Wish our youngest ones had read that. Wish all our kids had read that, but stuff like that. Complete Will Kit. How handy is that? Don't pay some high-dollar attorney to do your will. Most of us ain't got squat left anyway. So, do your will. But I think we gave $1 for that. Financial Planning Workbook. We got this. I've never heard of the authors. We got this at, I think, a yard sale for like $1.50, 50 cents. Good Sense Budgeting Course. This was really good. I run through this. How to manage your money. So, anytime we can pick up we'll flip through them if it appears to be a decent money management type of book, something that isn't going to lead you into debt and nonsense, we'll pick it up and we're happy to share them as well.
Another book that we have, I'm sure since before we ever got married, Chico was adamant that anytime we saw a Bible, if you go to certain places, they'll give them for free. We make sure to pick up every Bible that we can, that's inexpensive, so that we can give it to others. We've given them out. We actually used to keep them in our van so that when we went out places, and I don't know why we just got out of that habit, but anytime anybody comes through needs a Bible, we make sure that we've got some on hand so we can give out. Probably the best book ever written. It'll change your lives forever. This is an action Bible. This would be like a preteen or for someone that has difficulty reading. This is really easy. We've actually had a few of these, give them away. This is probably our third or fourth copy of this. It's a great book.
It is. We've given away dozens, maybe hundreds, but there's also something else. If we pick up free and cheap Bibles in our travels, it will afford us the ability to, where we're at now, we've got, at one point I think we had something like 32 different translations. If there's a particular area that you want to go deeper and wider, that's a way to do it. So, but we've given away a ton. Another type of book that we pick up, if it's cheap or free, and I'll quit saying that because that's the point. Survival books. This is an old dog. This is way old school. This book was $6.95 when it was published new. And it was published 1972. You were born in 73, yeah. Right? This was born the year before she was. But it's got great information in it. It's got some old school stuff that you're not going to find in some of today's survival books. Another old one, old school standard, the Wild Food Trail Guide. It's a foraging book. It's very cool. It's kind of got the whole 70s hippie vibe thing going on, but I'm okay with that. But it's got hawthorn, sumac, it's on and on. It's chock full of information, and I bought this at a yard sale, a quarter maybe. So, but we also like occasionally pick up books at half-price books when they do a special sale. We don't even buy their books when they're not a special deal. Like the Family Emergency Handbook, Disaster Survival Guide. So, Knots,
Camping, the Hunter's Shooting Guide.
Now see, I'm not a hunter, but things could change in a moment's notice, and I may need to become a hunter. And this book, this 25-cent book, might make the difference in whether my family eats or not. I will, one caveat, some of the books are more flash and pretty than knowledgeable. This one's kind of one of those books, but we got a great buy and there's a few good tips in it. Gonna do those?
Yeah. These are canning, freezing, storage, food freezing. This one's old. Home freezing of fruits and vegetables. Storing vegetables and fruits. The Ball Blue Book.
Yeah.
And slow cooker, one of my favorite ways to fix dinner in the slow cooker. It is amazing.
Food preservation could mean the difference between life and death. And we got these. In fact, I think we got this whole stack. I think we got the whole stack for a quarter. So, and slow cooker books.
Love them.
Everybody's so busy. If I can do one meal, we can do one pot wonders, we're good for it.
Yeah.
This one, sometimes you'll find a book that really doesn't fit in any, like we've got money books, we've got food preservation and survival books. This book is formulas, methods, tips, and data for home and workshop. Another really old book, but really valuable. This one has loads of information. Wood selection, finishing and preservation, paints and paint removers. This gives you It tells you how to make dyes and stains and how to work with concrete and brick and plaster and mortar and metals and arts and crafts and photography and on and on. It's got all of the methods, all of the formulas and tips. I'll be honest, I haven't used it much, but it's a wealth of information, and it costs me next to nothing, and it costs me nothing to keep it on my shelf. You want to do those?
Yeah. Next, first aid. We have first aid in your family, first aid in personal safety. These are things that you're going to need if the lights go out, no electricity for a few days. Cures from the kitchen. I really like this one. The Complete Natural Health Encyclopedia.
It's got a lot to do with vitamins and minerals and herbs and nutrients.
Pick this one up, I think, at a yard sale.
No, we got, actually, both of these books we got at Half Price Books during one of their special deals, and we got each book for $1. Mayo Clinic Family Health Book and the Harvard Medical School Family Health Guide. I'm telling you, it's handy, and if everything goes down the toilet, down the drain, we may need to help each other identify what's wrong with us and how to treat it.
It may take more than a book.
Yeah, it may take a book we don't own. But preventing heart disease, it gives you symptoms, it gives you, and check out the graphs. If this, then here. If no, then here. I can, my small brain can handle that. And we gave $1 a piece, and there is more information in one of those than hopefully we will ever need. Now this.
As you can tell, he loves books. He is a lover of books.
I do love books, and I'll tell you, I told you in our other video, must-have books on the Homestead. I'll link it right here. Books literally changed my life. And at another point, I will give you a little tidbit about Dr. Seuss, but not today. But I do love books, and I think knowledge is the key. I think what's lacking in our lives, in most cases, can be gained with a little bit more knowledge. So these are all garden, orchard, herb type books, all of a gardening type. And there's a ton of them here, and some of these authors we've never heard of. Some of these books, there might only be 2 or 3 tips in the book that we don't have in a better version. But the truth is we got them cheap. We can go to them anytime we need to. And then if a neighbor, somebody in our community, a friend, a family member, if they need a gardening book, we can share it. So, but like how to grow fruits, nuts, and berries.
The Suburban Farmer's Handbook.
A modern herbal, how to grow, cook, and use herbs. And that's an area we lack in. We need to get better at our herbs.
I've actually used this one, the Garden Problem Solver, and it has lots of pictures so you can identify your flowers and your plants.
And it's a Reader's Digest. Big fan of Reader's Digest books. Better Homes and Gardens, Step-by-Step, Successful Gardening. Vegetables.
Encyclopedia of Gardening. It's gigantic.
That's a pretty good book too. The Everything Grow Your Own Vegetables Handbook. I don't know who Catherine Abbott is, but I flipped through the book and it looks like a great one. Perfect shape, and we got it for cheap.
Complete Guide to Gardening. We should probably read that one, shouldn't we?
Rodale's Landscape Problem Solver. Likely at the bottom of the list of what we're going to need, because it's a lot of frou-frou landscaping, but there's tips and keys in here that we need.
Lasagna Gardening.
The American Horticulture Society Herb Gardens.
Practical Gardening. That's a cool looking book.
And The Joy of Gardening. I think we've got 50 cents or less in each one of these books. Some of these we've got at yard sales, and I think some of them we got at half price books. But Half Price Books had a half price day. This book was $1, so we got The Joy of Gardening for 50 cents. So, books changed my life. I think they can change your life too. And if you can pick them up cheap, do it. It's a great resource. I understand the space issue, and I think that is forgivable. If you absolutely don't have the space, then you pick the books that you have space for. But if you have space for cheap books, get them. They'll be a blessing in your life. You have anything? So, that's it. You know where to find us. We're across social media at He Provides Homestead. We're on Vidme, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and we sell books on our eBay page as well. And we do a lot of management, personal development, stuff like that. So, if you want to check out our eBay, Instagram, Twitter, we're even on Pinterest.
I love Pinterest.
So, thanks for coming along. Thanks for watching the video. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell us what your favorite books are. Tell us what your theory is on buying books, keeping books, sharing books. Tell us if you buy cheap books and how you acquire them. We're just glad you came along. Godspeed.